Adventures in Colorectal Cancer, 2026, August 9th. So, tomorrow is the day that I go see the colorectal surgeon. Friday was the day when the tumor board, the cancer board, decided my fate, basically, whether they'll accept me for radiation or whether they'll just take the easy route and cut my rectum out. It's already stressful. I'm already losing sleep on this, wondering whether or not my life is going to change a little bit or change dramatically. Um, what a lot of people don't realize is Canada does not have universal health care. I'm going to go through this again so people really understand. The health insurer for the province of BC is the province of BC. It's a two-tiered level system. If you have private health insurance, you can step outside the public insurer and get things done and get things done quicker. So the provincial government of BC has so much money set aside for healthcare, and all the healthcare, the hospitals and clinics, etc., all have a budget. And once that budget is hit, then that's it. And so, like all good public bureaucracies, you want to hit your budget and then go over it, and you don't want to you want to have a wait list. So it could possibly, because we have three distinct healthcare regions in the province of BC. We have the island, which looks after Vancouver Island. We have coastal, which looks after Vancouver and some of the coastal communities. And then the rest is under Fraser. They don't talk to each other. They all have their own separate budget. They're all fighting for their own piece of the pie. And then, so I can't get records from one to the other. They don't talk to each other. And because the nearest radiation clinic to me is in coastal and I'm in Fraser, they might just say no because we're reserving it for our patients, not yours. But they might not actually say that. They might just say, well, we'll put them on the list, and then just leave me there going like, well, look, we need, more money because of this, as opposed to saying, okay, do we have one of the other radiation clinics that has available space? They won't do that. And I know this because I talked to the ex-head cardiac surgeons at VGH about this fact. And they said, no, they'll just leave you on the list. They won't send you to another hospital. As long as it's not like you're not going to die, they'll just leave you there so they can get more budget next year. No one will say this, it's just like none of the doctors will say that another doctor's decisions are bad, even though they are. They'll just say, for example, I bit my lip a couple of times and it made this fibrous bump. And one of the clinics, the guy gave me something to use on it, and then that wasn't working, so I went to another clinic for some reason and said, okay, so this is the other thing, and showed that doctor. He said, well, that won't do anything because that's an antibiotic. So this doctor gave me an antibiotic instead of a steroid for something that I clearly needed a steroid for. And she wouldn't say he screwed up. All she would say is, this particular medicine won't help you. That's it. That's as much bad mouthing of the other doctor's decision as she would give. And I'm experiencing this as well between the doctors. asking a doctor, why is it this decision? Oh, you have to ask that. Why is it? Well, you have to. Well, no, you have an opinion. Like, anyway. So yeah, so already I'm losing sleep, which means, I won't be at my best tomorrow because it's late in the day, 3:45 in the afternoon. I go in there just like full of fear and depression, and it's just so hard to think clearly. I have written questions down. Wednesday, I talked to the GP that I'm using, and at that point, I'm going to flat out say, look, if I don't get radiation, and they won't, because I might be able to do radiation privately because I have a private health plan as well, and that would certainly help the costs. So maybe I'll try and do this private, because it's just like I don't understand the decision tree that's being made here, because I'm asymptomatic. There's been 2 blood tests that show nothing. There's the CT scan, the ultrasound, the MRI, and then a new biopsy of the area that all come up negative. I'm still asymptomatic. That doesn't mean it's on the other side of my rectum, but still, it's just like, why is it the trivial? Why is the first thing that's said is the trivial way? Well, you can't have rectal cancer if you don't have a rectum, which is just like, well, you can't have carpal tunnel if you don't have a left arm. But why? Like, why not try and treat the carpal tunnel before you go through, you just remove because that's just life-changing. It also gets me through the system really fast. Like, it's surgery, and then the rest of your life is your problem. You get to bear that cost. Whereas radiation, it's going to be several treatments. It's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be as cheap as surgery and however many days stay, because they just get me in, and as soon as possible they get me out of the hospital, and then the rest of the cost of the care is up to me. Yeah. Anyway, I guess Tuesday we'll be talking again when I figure out what they want to do with me. Yeah, this really sucks. I mean, the emotional roller coaster, not only the physical part of having cancer sucks, but the emotional and mental roller coaster this brings. Yeah. As well, a friend of mine, a friend of a friend on the island has breast cancer, and it's metastasized. So she's looking at terminal, and so she wants to try some alternative, some more experimental stuff. And BC Cancer, if I understand correctly, BC Cancer said, no, you can't do that until you do all of our stuff, all the stuff we want you to do first. And if you refuse, we're going to cut you off and delete your records, which is just like, what the hell? So I'm going to get that cleared up. Yeah, BC Cancer, from 20 years ago doing the lung cancer camera, I am not a fan of BC Cancer. No sarà diviter though. Anyway, making appropriate life decisions. You don't make any money, but you get good stories.